This is Wall Street as most people see it: fast, loud, and constantly moving.
Numbers flash, prices change, and fortunes seem to rise and fall in seconds.
But what you are looking at is only the surface of a much deeper system.
Markets do not simply move on their own. They are shaped by invisible structures.
Every trade begins with a decision, but it does not end where you think.
The moment you press buy, your order begins a journey you never see.
That journey passes through layers of systems designed to handle massive flows of capital.
Some orders never even reach the public exchange you believe they go to. Instead, they are absorbed, rerouted, and processed inside a hidden network.
What appears simple on the outside is anything but simple underneath.
Prices are not just discovered, they are formed through complex interaction.
Behind every price is a negotiation between liquidity, demand, and risk.
This is where market makers begin to play their role.
They stand between buyers and sellers, ensuring trades can always happen.
But providing liquidity is not neutral. It comes with incentives and strategies.
These incentives begin to shape behavior the moment volatility enters the system. When uncertainty rises, liquidity does not stay constant. It begins to retreat.
And when liquidity pulls back, prices can move faster than anyone expects. At that moment, the system is no longer about efficiency. It becomes about survival.
And the critical question emerges: who is left holding the risk when others step away?
At the center of this system are institutions that rarely appear in headlines. Investment banks, hedge funds, and dealers form the backbone of the market. They do not simply participate, they influence how the system functions. Capital flows through them before it ever reaches its final destination. Their balance sheets become the buffer that stabilizes or destabilizes markets.
When stress builds, their ability to absorb risk becomes critically important.
But that capacity is not infinite. It is limited by capital and constraints. Once those limits are reached, the system begins to feel the strain immediately.
Every participant depends on another, and stress moves through the network rapidly. When one part weakens, the effect does not stay isolated. It spreads across the system.
But this system does not run on structure alone. It runs on people.
Inside every institution, individuals navigate pressure, ambition, and expectation.
The journey often begins at the lowest level, as an analyst.
Long hours, constant deadlines, and relentless precision define that role.
From there, responsibility increases, and so does the complexity of decisions.
As roles evolve, execution gives way to oversight, and decisions begin to carry weight.
At this level, managing deal flow becomes as critical as understanding the numbers.
At senior levels,
the focus shifts from execution to control and strategic influence.
Relationships begin to outweigh raw data, shaping outcomes behind closed doors. Every major deal is not just structured, it is negotiated through power and leverage.
In this system, incentives shape behavior far more than rules ever could.
How risk is taken is not random, it is guided by how reward is structured. Performance is measured constantly, and expectations never truly disappear. Under pressure, decisions become faster, sharper, and sometimes more dangerous. At its core, the system is driven by human judgment, not perfect calculation.
Over time, fatigue begins to shape decisions in ways no model can predict.
Even the most skilled professionals operate within the limits of human endurance.
And under constant pressure, small errors can carry disproportionate consequences.
Not every outcome is predictable, even in a system built on calculation.
This is where precision meets uncertainty, and the system reveals its fragile side.
Wall Street is not designed for perfection. It is designed to keep functioning. Every participant constantly adapts, adjusting to conditions as they change.
The rules may stay consistent, but the environment never remains the same.
Technology is now reshaping how decisions are made and executed in real time.
The balance between human judgment and machine precision is quietly shifting. Power within the system does not disappear. It shifts quietly from one place to another.
The most important forces are rarely visible, yet they define the system's direction. Capital now moves across borders faster than ever, reshaping global market dynamics.
Artificial intelligence is no longer a tool. It is becoming part of the decision process.
At the same time, private capital is expanding beyond the reach of public markets. Large deals may be returning, but not every part of the market is recovering equally.
Capital is concentrating in specific areas, while others remain constrained. This imbalance creates opportunity for some and instability for others. Within the same system, some participants gain strength while others lose ground. And over time, these differences begin to build tension within the system itself. Even under pressure, the system does not stop. It begins to adjust internally. Capital continues to move, even when conditions are far from stable. Adjustments happen constantly, often before most participants even notice. The system does not reset. It evolves continuously through every cycle.
And despite everything, it remains in motion, adapting without ever truly stopping.
Wall Street is not chaos. It is structured in ways most people never truly see.
Beneath the noise, there is a system constantly balancing itself in real time. Once you understand the structure, every movement begins to make more sense. The surface no longer defines reality. It only reflects what lies beneath. And from that moment on, You are no longer just watching the market.